Hi folks, welcome to Nerds and Nonsense. I'm here, Kamar, with my buddies Adam and Randy, and today we're going to talk about sports talk, pastimes, what you like to watch, etc. So who wants to get the ball rolling?
So I guess my sport is basketball, for those that know me. Basically grew up playing baseball, was not good at it. And then we moved to 25th Street in Ohio, and there was a basketball court in the backyard. Wasn't a full court for real, like 90 feet, but it did have two different poles with hoops on them. So I grew up playing basketball. Like, it was kind of the neighborhood playground. So yeah, that's my passion, is basketball. I used to watch it religiously, so I can go into stats, into detail on stuff in the 90s, and but as far as like today goes, don't really watch it. Like right now, the Celtics are playing the Warriors in the championship, and series is tied 2-2. But if they win, great. If they don't, should have played better. I just don't care anymore. Maybe it's because I have a kid or whatever, but it's I don't know. It's just not that fun. I'm not. They're not going to give me a championship ring if they win, right? So I don't care.
I think it's because it's best out of 7, right?
Yeah.
It's like 7 games. I mean, it's entertaining and it keeps going because you can play that. I think because the Super Bowl was like one game, and it's like all the marbles in that one game. That's why it's so big. But of course, basketball and baseball are different. You have to do best of 7. So yeah, you can probably catch maybe game 6 or 7 when it counts, right?
Yeah.
But then like game 3 or 4, maybe not as much unless you're like super hardcore. So yeah, I could see why I could see your viewpoint on that and stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's why football is like the top sport in America, because it's like one and done. Playoffs, Super Bowl, whatever.
It's simple.
And basketball usually, or baseball, it usually shakes out, or hockey.
Yeah.
It shakes out whoever the best team is probably going to win, barring an injury from like a star player, because you're playing best out of 7, so first one to 4 advances. So that's why nowadays I actually watch UFC a lot more than basketball, just because one mistake and you're done. It could be a 10-second fight, it could be a 25-minute fight, but one mistake.
But you get the rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
Or probably the world's worst is cricket. Cricket goes on for like weeks or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not down with that.
I'm not down with that either.
Well, and violence sells. Like in football, you want to see somebody who's knocking each other out or something. Like running into each other. Like a good tackle.
Impact.
Yeah, exactly. So in UFC, like you want to see more times than not. That's good. A submission is good.
Yeah.
But you want to see the dude knock another dude out. Come on, that's like same with like boxing. You just want to see violence. People just love it. They gravitate to it. It's entertaining, right? You actually don't want to do it to somebody else, and then you watch somebody else. Oh, okay, that's legal and it's better that way,
Yeah, like last night I watched like UFC 275, and Glover Teixeira fought Yuri Prochazka, and that fight was amazing because it was back and forth for 5 rounds, and I think
it was a struggle.
Yeah, like Glover had him like dead to rights towards the end, and then Prochazka like flipped a crazy submission on him and tapped him out with like 26 seconds. So like, he was going to retain the title. It was going to go his way if there was a decision, very likely, and then Prochazka finished the fight. So that's what's great about UFC, is like you can have an ending where it gets decided by the judges, which often they're right, but sometimes they're so off fucking base with that. And then you can also just finish the fight, submission, knockout, whatever, broken leg like McGregor. But that's what's great, is like there's like I said, one mistake and you're fucked. One lucky shot and you're a champion. So
it's critical, isn't it? I think especially with us, we have martial arts as our background, and I know I was the kid who went to sparring class like religiously every Saturday, and like that was kind of like the competition I grew up with. But at the same time, the nice thing about martial arts, you have that combat part, but then you also have forms. Like your forms were kick-ass. Like you had everything memorized. It was great. But I think for me, when it comes to like the ball team sports, like for me watching it, like if I want to figure out a way to go to bed, I think my memories as a kid was my grandpa watching baseball in Ohio, and just like me, like seeing him, like I couldn't tell if he was awake or if he was asleep, but the game was still going.
Well, he might have been watching the Indians because they sucked.
Oh yeah. So I think one for me that I grew up with really watching was definitely like professional wrestling.
Mhm.
So I remember like the '80s and the Hulk Hogan, like on a Sunday, like hang out with my parents, like in the morning, like they having coffee and we watch wrestling. Like those are good times.
Yeah, I think everyone kind of got into wrestling. Like at least people born in '83. Hulk Hogan was the man,
Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man. Like WWF was on like another level.
Yeah.
So that was. I mean, everyone had Hulk Hogan T-shirts or. Taking your vitamins, saying your prayers, all that fun stuff.
Your all-American hero is kind of like,
Yeah.
You can watch that take away from your problems from work or school. Something like, hey, it's just two dudes beating each other up. It's just it's like entertainment.
Yeah.
I think at that age too, we didn't realize that the outcome was predetermined.
Yeah.
So like you were like on board. Like Hogan was winning, he was like unbeatable, and that was the guy, and then the Warrior beat him, and you're like, what the fuck? Like,
I legitimately got mad at somebody in my family said, that's fake. Like, no, it's not. It's not fake. It's not fake, all right? Don't say that, okay?
People always say it's fake.
I was so upset.
Right. Yeah. But I think the key thing is just understanding that, sports and entertainment means not only you have to be athletic and good at it, you also have to be a good performer.
Mm-hmm.
Like the amount of guys that you see who are talking about their game and it sounds like they just finished Hooked on Phonics is so embarrassing. Like when you get like people in professional wrestling, they're actually fucking well-rounded professional people. Which, instead of like the dude that cheated off of every single test that you had next to you in class, and because they got like a pass to do whatever. And, I think I have a lot of respect for sports and entertainment people because they do the entire job.
Yeah, I always hated that when they interviewed like a dipshit in football or basketball. They're like, I just want to thank God, and I just did it for the team, and blah blah blah. It's just like they just, we're stuck in front of a microphone, and like,
Right.
The 110% thing, like we get 110%, we did our best, and that's all we could do, right?
Yeah.
It was just kind of like here's like your script, read it, right?
Right.
Stuff,
Like you're paid that much, at least take an acting class, so we don't have to sit through the shit. But like that's a lot of money you're getting paid to be horrible on camera.
Yeah.
Whereas you get people like in WWE or AEW, and they're paid even less, and they're good.
I think promo work is part of it. I think with sports, you just play the game. It's like you're not really prepared for sometimes people in the media.
I'm just here to play the game.
Yeah, asking you these questions, you get upset because you lost a big game or something, like a game or something. Yeah, of course you can be upset. I mean, like professional wrestling is staged. Of course, now I know that, but it's like you're gonna have a different reaction to it because
like the Hart family, you fucking lost a brother,
so,
but you still have the ability to be in front of camera, although you're distraught.
Yeah, I think the thing about wrestling too is like the outcome is usually predetermined. The bumps are fake in a way, but it's kind of like that dance where like you're keeping your partner safe, which is way more difficult than fucking someone up.
Yeah.
And then you have to be good on the mic.
Yeah.
And then you're on the road 300 days a year, so.
Yeah.
It's fake, but at the end of the day, it's probably more difficult than football or basketball or hockey.
Yeah. Much more demanding.
Yeah.
Much more.
Under more of a microscope.
Right. Yeah. I think one of the I was lucky in grad school. I got the opportunity to play rugby, and I kind of got introduced because I had friends when I was teaching in Japan who played rugby. And I think that's one sport I have a lot of respect for because they don't get money thrown at them. And it's a club sport generally in colleges. So you played, there's no varsity sort of support, like there's no funding from the university, but you do it because it's chummy, you enjoy it, and you like the camaraderie.
I thought it was just he's gonna run over people. I know it's like fun. I mean,
well, there's no padding.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
If I was a bigger dude, like if it's one, I just want to run people over.
It's a fast speed sport.
Yeah.
It's like speed, it's accuracy, and like. Definitely in regular American football, you just run people over, but like it functions like a sine wave. So you have to be able to pass the ball going down like the wave of everyone going forward, and at some point you kind of the person who gets it has to kind of cross that line to bring it to the touchdown essentially. So it's pretty dynamic.
I have a friend that lives in New Zealand, and they're big into rugby.
Oh yeah, All Blacks.
Like the All Blacks, like they do like the haka, I think it's called.
Oh yeah,
which is like
Maori.
Can you imagine like standing in front of that? Like I'm gonna play against these motherfuckers. Like what the hell?
Yeah, that's great. I think when it comes to certain things like that, you have like football has shit talking. I think rugby definitely has that intimidation sort of thing. When I played for Aztec SDSU rugby. I had this really crazy idea. The thing is, if we have the theme of like, you know, Aztec people, there's this crazy whistle that's like creates this death streak. So I was thinking, like, you know, if people wanted to really put their branding on San Diego Rugby, like if you pulled that, that'd be like similar to the haka, because when they do the haka thing, like the facial expressions are intimidating as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, when growing up as a kid, my dad got me playing soccer. You know, so I like soccer, watching it more too. I think World Cup is this year. Can't qualify.
Was it this year?
Yeah, I can't remember, but I know it's coming up soon. It's always cool to just sit around and watch my dad and my brother because you get into it more. Kind of like the, you know, playing as a kid, but never really as a grown up. But you know, I did martial arts with you, and then you know, watching it for me is more fun right now. But you know, in the past couple of years, I've been playing volleyball with some coworkers. Played some flag football with some coworkers too. Like I like the camaraderie, just being there. Win and lose or draw, as long as you're having fun. You know, even play kickball. I didn't know kickball can be so competitive. You know, there's like some crazy logistics to it. Spinning the ball, crazy kick, like it's like bunching the ball as well too. Like, I didn't know you can do that too. It's like it's crazy. Like just playing that. So like trying out these different sports that you're probably not really acclimated to.
Yeah.
It's more fun. Like I think than maybe just playing. Just a sport by yourself, kind of like an individual kind of sport, you know. But those are kind of fun. Those opened up new avenues, and you know, it just made it more enjoyable for me just to be around different people that enjoy the same thing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the cool thing about sports is like you don't even have to really like it or know what's going on. But if it's like if you know it's a big game like a World Cup or like Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final, like I don't watch hockey, I don't know all the rules, but I can watch it and appreciate like these are big moments, and you know these guys are out there performing, and it's like the pressure of that is like immense. You know, millions of people are watching, especially with soccer or football, as the world calls it. Like, how many billion people are watching that? You know what I mean? So it's crazy. I don't like soccer at all, but if the game means something, I can.
Yeah, you get into that.
You show some kind of respect and admiration. Like, well, you're like, if some people are watching, then you know it's being done right. I mean, it's like it's online. It's Game 7. It's the finals, and you know, the Super Bowl. You want to watch it. Like, these teams or players might not have any relevancy to me, but hey, man, I just want to see what it's like. You know.
Yeah. There's a cultural quality to it. So even you think about a place like San Diego, it like when we lost the Chargers, although that company just really screwed everybody, there was a cultural thing that was lost in that process. When you think about going to Petco Park and like why that's so huge, because you go there and you see this social, cultural phenomenon, which is amazing. I remember when I first did study abroad at Osaka, Japan had just won the World Cup. And just you could just see they even had like some art project that was about the World Cup. Like, you know, there's a lot that goes into that. And I think whenever you're in any sort of, you know, physical sports activity, even if it's individual, there's that quality that's there. Because we remember going to tournaments, even like the dawn testings kind of had that quality where you had people who were there to perform and you had people who were there to support. And like just having that dynamic, it's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. That's the kind of what really tells you like you're really at like a sport sort of event because you have that quality.
So following up when you said about the Chargers, when they were in San Diego, don't say that I was, you know, a fair weather fan or just bandwagon. No, I went to the games. I have the jerseys. I even had the ticket stubs from back then. You know, Adam, me and you went to a couple games.
I broke furniture.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
we were pissed. So I like to show like city spirit. If the team is in, there's a team in my city, I want to show support for it. The Padres are still here. And the Chargers unfortunately left, but I just, in all honesty, I cannot support that because like they're in a different team. The owner chose to be an a-hole about it and just take the team and move because he was saying that, you know, I'm committed to keep the team here. Not bullshit. You're fired, you know, like, you know, so that one really hurt for me. You know?
That's the biggest problem when it comes to like these big name sports because it's about money. Like they don't give a shit about taxpayers most of the time.
And, they wanted us to pay for a new stadium, but it's like you could go out and write a check and get one like tomorrow. Why are we paying for it? We've already paid for it with the misery of watching the Chargers fucking blow it every goddamn year.
You would make your revenue 10 times over after, like not just for football, concerts, events, all that stuff coming in. Like it's such a new revenue people are going then flock to it.
I think his white belts, that was one of the first speeches that Master Francis gave us about, like, if you're going to go to, like, the actual thing, you better win it. When,
Yeah.
like, when Chargers lost against, like, 49ers, we were just kids in class, and he mentioned that, and, like, everyone in class.
I didn't get it now, but I get it.
After that.
I didn't, I'm sorry, I didn't get it then, but I get it now.
Now
you
we
know?
totally get it now.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Like, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You kind of take for granted, like, the Chargers, you know, got demolished by Steve Young, but, like, they've never gone back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And then you have someone like Tom Brady that has, like, a watch. It's like, oh, it's time for the Super Bowl. Like, every fucking year, like, almost, like,
Yeah.
either win it or be there. But,
Yeah.
you know, same for LeBron. It's just, like, you kind of got to take a step back and appreciate, like, the greatness that we see. Like, growing up with Michael Jordan and then having, like, Kobe and LeBron or Tom Brady, like, Belichick, like, we're not going to see something like this again. Like, you know, the
Even-
Patriots run.
Even Tiger Woods, I mean, like,
Tiger
Oh, yeah.
Woods.
he
Yeah.
was on a tear for a while, then had to step back, but man, he's come back at it. It's like, you
Yeah.
just can only keep the good ones down for so long, you know? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, Tom Brady was killing it in New England, then goes to Tampa Bay and wins Super Bowl there, and almost went to another one. Like, come on, this guy's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like, just don't tell me it's just the
But
system.
I thought he was a system quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, no, he, like, popped in there and, like, dude's 43?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was born in 77, so he's going to be 45 years old. It's crazy.
Adam, I think
Yeah.
only a Tom Brady fanatic like yourself knows that his age and all his stats like that. Man. That was so accurate. Like, man, that is precise, man.
Oh,
That's
goodness.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, yeah, I mean, nowadays, I'm just not into it as much. But, you know, like I said, I can kind of enjoy watching it more, even though I don't watch it as much, just because, like, back in the day, I was, like, breaking furniture, and, like, it would fuck my whole day up, my whole week. Like, you know what I mean? McGregor lost to Khabib, and I had, like, a meltdown.
Oh.
Like,
You did.
Did you have money on it? Was the question.
No, I don't give a
It's more
shit.
emotional.
Yeah, like, it's just,
his guy, man.
you know, the Celtics played the Lakers in the finals in 2010 and lost in Game 7. They were up 13 points in the third quarter,
Yeah.
and they fucking lost. And it, like, for years, I, like, was not over that game. And, like,
Oh, wow.
you know, you would think that if they won this year, it would, like, kind of correct that. But I already got over it. Like I said, if they win, I don't get a ring. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I have my dad wasn't very into watching sports, and he had like a very kind of realistic view on it. But I think the only thing I watched kind of that regularly was like politics and news. It's like tracking those sorts of things. Like I kind of have passionate views on things like that in an almost competitive way, but because I kind of see like the real implications of them rather than sometimes people just blindly like into politics or whatever, not really understanding, well, this is going to hit you in your wallet somewhere.
oh, it is a sport. It's competitive. Like,
It is.
There's
It
money
is.
involved.
Money's
Like, it's kind of the
involved.
same thing.
Yeah, it is the same thing. So I think for me, like I definitely look at politics that way. And you know, even when you have people who are running for election, you kind of go with like, you know, what's the performance of this team versus the other team, and like parties have a good performance and bad performance, and it's pretty obvious. And you know, you can't just be like, well, I'm this for life. Well, no, it's a shitty team. It's a shitty team. You go with the one
Yeah.
that's going to win. You know.
It is a way, kind of like sports.
Like we don't realize we have our money on it literally when we're looking at politics. You know,
Yeah.
don't if you're gonna have your money on it, have your money on the team that's gonna win, right?
Yeah, like you said, Adam, we can, as we get older, we kind of enjoy it more sparingly, which is more fun. Like you save it for the playoffs, save it for the big, you know, events. Kind of like, you know, when I have get together when we all watch AEW every couple
yeah.
months. It's fun, right?
Those are
Because
good.
we don't watch it every month or every weekend, and we all get together and get to enjoy something. The Super Bowl, you know,
Yeah.
Game 7 or something like that. It's more enjoyable because we all get
Yeah.
together and enjoy it. If we all got together like every weekend, man, this would get kind of boring.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
kind of repetitive. You know,
Yeah.
used to have the guys come over and watch football all the time, but then the crowd, you know, the amount of people came over got less and less because it just got kind of repetitive. You know, but
Yeah.
save it for the big events. I think it's more fun that
Yeah,
way.
it's big events. It's a cultural event. It's a reason to be together.
I think one of the things too, as I've gotten older, is like we're like older than 99% of every sports league now. So it's like
Yeah.
it's weird to be a fanboy of someone that's like, you know,
Yeah,
15 years younger than you, and it's
Yeah.
like it just gets kind of weird. So
Yeah.
all the guys that I grew up watching are like dead or just like old now, like
Retired.
yeah, retired. Like, you know, I can still watch Charles Barkley on Inside the NBA, and he's fucking hilarious. He has like great takes on everything. He should
Yeah.
run for some sort of political office. 'Cause
Yeah.
he just like
Just shake
cuts
that
through
up.
all the bullshit and But yeah, I mean, we're older than the people that we're watching, so
Yeah.
I can appreciate the sport in it. But in my opinion, like specifically with basketball, like the game's changed so much to where like guys were really competitive. You wanted to beat the best. Now they're like joining forces. Like LeBron went to Miami with Wade and Bosh, and like then KD went to the Warriors after they kicked his ass, and he like, you know, just made a bitch move. But the competitive spirit obviously is still there. All these guys are really good. They're competitive, but like on the level of like a Kobe or a Michael Jordan, like that's gone.
Right.
I hope it comes back one day. I love when guys, like, when teams have that rivalry, you know?
Makes for better watching.
Yeah, like, you know, Ohio State versus Michigan, like...
college sports retain that.
Red Sox, Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
College sports are passion. Like, SDSU basketball is insane.
Yeah.
And, like, it's the fervor and, like, the tracking between this college performance. Like, you know, ASU is always huge out there. That's always interesting. I think the thing is, as we get older, we also get like a larger view. So, like, we're looking at professional sports, it's not as innocent as when we were younger. We get to see kind of all these contracts and business things going on. That I think that affects how we watch it.
I think, like, for me, kind of like to your point, the NCAA basketball tournament is one of the most fun things you can watch because there's like, you know, 30-something games in like 2 days, and there's only one. You know, you have one chance to advance.
Yeah.
And then you have like a 15 seed beating a number 2 seed, which shouldn't happen. Things like that, like the drama and the sport of it. And then it's like, how bad do you want to win? They're not getting paid.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when like a 15 seed chops down like a giant, like it's just amazing to watch. Like, you know, for me, I fill out the bracket every year, and my bracket just gets more fucked every year. Because like, you know, you think if you pick this team over this team, you're good, but like, it's not the way it goes, and it's fun because these guys aren't being paid. It's just all heart. Like, they're trying to potentially be a professional. So like, depending on how well they play in this tournament, they may be a millionaire or they may be working at fucking Old Navy.
Right.
You know, who knows?
It allows other teams that you may have not heard about before to get a chance and opportunity to play. That's cool because it includes more than just like all the big juggernauts in the game.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, like everyone like cheering for Duke or North Carolina or whatever, like, or Alabama in football. It's just like you want to see those teams get chopped down because it's like it's entertaining. You know what I mean?
And it allows like a team like STSU to get in every year too. You know, we want to say, okay, now we got to see our team play in it. It makes it more exciting. You know, more
Because I think also because when it comes to like college sports, not only are they symbols for that university, but also for that region.
Yeah.
So I think for me, I kind of rejoiced when the Chargers left because then that meant like our college sports could really have the attention that they deserve. And when SDSU was proposed, I thought like that would be a really great chance for us to rally around San Diego and like being from this region, you know, because state has really great football, they have great basketball, they have great rugby, they have great soccer. Like,
baseball's good too.
Baseball's great, like Tony Gwynn Stadium, like there's some good quality in our city. So, but I think one of the things for me is just I tried some team sports, but I think because of the martial arts, I've been like very kind of individual sport. Like I think these days really like bodybuilding is really interesting for me. I don't know if I would ever be in a competition, but I know I follow quite a few bodybuilders, and it's very much is martial arts like because you have to kind of have your discipline in that process.
So to follow up on what you said, come on, the Chargers leaving, like, I'm not saying this as a bitter fan. Spanos leaving, he's going to regret it. Right now, he's in the process of being sued by his family member.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
I heard about that.
Leaving to go to LA to be, I don't know, 7th, 8th in line of a franchise, of a city that has so many teams already.
Yeah.
Instead of being here and being number one.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me that staying here in San Diego, you're going to, be below the Padres? No, you're still going to be number one. Fan base is going to come here, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No, it was a dick move. It was a money move, all that kind of stuff. So,
it's a greedy move.
Not saying it as a bitter fan, right? But he's going to regret it.
For me, I think Eddie in San Diego has the right to say, as a bitter fan, that Spanos is an asshole and the Chargers fucked themselves in after fucking us first.
Yeah.
Like we're now the most expensive city in San Diego. Imagine all the money that people just were like, wow, I fucking burned my money on that team. As real estate goes up and like people have to leave the city.
Yeah. What's funny about LA is like you said, they're 7th or 8th. That might be generous because you have like the Lakers, the Dodgers, even the Raiders are ahead of them in football. Like, they don't play there.
They're in Vegas.
The Rams just came back. They're ahead of the Chargers.
Clippers.
Yeah.
You have
Clippers.
the Kings. You have UCLA, USC.
UCLA.
I can go on and on and on, right?
Yeah. Even the fucking Angels.
Yeah.
Like,
They even changed their name like Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. I'm like, come on. They even changed their name to make more
It's just so sad. And so I remember like the talks on, I think KPBS, like our local, like, you know, non-profit news station was covering the talks. And they're like, yeah, well, we thought we were going to have open talks with like Nathan Fletcher and like the owner of the Chargers, but apparently they changed and they said it was a closed door sort of thing. And the moment I heard that, I was just like, yeah, these people are all corrupt, horrible people that, you know.
I don't support any LA team, especially the Lakers.
Because they're Celtics fans.
Like the thing about LA fans, like you have your hardcore fans that really know the game, you know, whether it's basketball, football, baseball. But there's so many people that show up late to games and leave early. They're not real sports fans. They're just there because it's the entertainment capital and like
it's cultural.
It's just really annoying. Like no one gives a fuck about the Chargers, and then all of a sudden they're kind of good, and then people care, like which happens to all teams. But like being that it is LA, and then like the Chargers were here, and then they left, it just makes me hate them even worse. Like it's nothing against like Herbert or you know,
nothing against the player. Yeah, it's the ownership.
It's the ownership.
Because the players didn't choose to leave. The owner chose for them to leave. You know,
the owner chose. Yeah.
I find that being a former Chargers fan now, like just being neutral, and I see moves like, you know what, it's fine because it's kind of like it doesn't hurt as much anymore because it's LA's problem.
I think that I respect the players. I enjoy the players. Like they're legendary people. Junior Seau, rest in peace, is like an amazing guy who definitely made San Diego. But I am bitter about their ownership, and I'm kind of angry about their ownership, and I don't appreciate their ownership. And you know, if we wanted to have a class action lawsuit against the Chargers, I think we should. You know, not to the players, but for that ownership, like, you know, they deserve whatever's coming towards them. So
I mean, like, I the way they treated that team, like they should have paid Vincent Jackson, they should have paid LaDainian Tomlinson, like he should have retired a Charger. Antonio Gates. I mean, the team should have stayed in San Diego. Like Phillip Rivers left. You know what I mean? After the guys started leaving and retiring or whatever, it was easy to disconnect and not give a shit about that team anymore.
You saw Eric Weddle leave, and he was still bitter about it. He went to the Rams and won the Super Bowl. He's still bitter about it. Like, hey, you know, that was management. That was ownership. I mean, it's like, we'll compensate you for now, but when you start declining, we're going to kick you out the door. You know? They're not going to treat you the same way. You know? But then we'll hold a ceremony for you, and then one of these games welcome you back. You know?
Yeah, it sucks because like San Diego, like, you know, the Chargers were basically like birthing all this talent, like you know, Michael Turner, Darren Sproles, Vincent Jackson, like, you know what I mean? We had backup guys that became starters on other teams, and it was so frustrating. You know, Sean Phillips, Sean Merriman, like they just couldn't win. You know, of course they lost. They always kick, you know, Peyton's ass, which is great, but you know, they lost to the Patriots. You know, but they just could never get over the hump, and they had all the talent in the world. They could never get there, and I kind of wonder if they would have won, like, would they still be here? You know, would the fans actually have shelled out the money, or would he have...
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, well, I guess the key thing is like the management proved itself, and like even if they were amazing, the management still proved themselves. You know,
I mean, that's why they were, I guess, here for as long as they were. I mean, they were just crap all over the place. They probably left a lot sooner, you know. But like, as I get older now, like, it's just better just to enjoy sports overall, just sparingly. It's just easier that way to follow multiple things. You know, UFC, wrestling, football, basketball, a little bit of everything. It could you know, diversify your palate. You know, a little bit of everything, which is good. I like knowing a little bit more about different sports that I didn't play before too. Like, and then like getting older, like, you know, trying, like, I didn't know I would enjoy volleyball as much, sand and court volleyball as much as I did. You know, kickball, like, man, this is fun. Like, being with other people that enjoy that thing too makes you want to play it more as well too. And And when I was trying to get people to play volleyball, I said, "Oh, I don't really know how to play, or I'm not really athletic. But just come out.
Yeah.
If you're willing to learn, we'll teach you. Just have a good time."
Right.
And people were always telling me
Right.
like, "I'm having a good time. Thanks for making me feel welcome. Not putting too much pressure on me." Like, yeah, we're just playing for fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if
It
you're
should be
competitive.
a-
We want to
yeah.
win, but I hope I build that in you later on. But
Yeah.
the main goal is to go out and have fun because
Right.
we're older. Yeah, I'm not winning a ring. Be
Right.
nice. I mean, we
Yeah.
almost won a championship playing sand volleyball. That was fun. I mean,
Yeah.
we were like bottom barrels. So just a quick story. We were just playing in a league in volleyball, on sand volleyball on Saturdays, and at the end of the season, they let everyone get a chance to go to the playoffs. So they put us in pools. We got out of pools. We made it to the championship game. Never in a million years. A bunch of just ragtag people
Wow.
playing, like guys that just got together, guys and gals, just playing for fun. Made it to the championship. We lost, but never in a million years I thought, like, man, that was super fun. We got there.
That's wild,
We
yeah.
exceeded expectations. It was fun. It made me just want to continue playing volleyball.
Right.
So when I got to my new company, like I heard about volleyball playing for fun, like, dude, I wanted to play that and get involved. It was kind of rough at first, but then we got more people, and then more and more we got more people, and more fun we got. Due to the pandemic,
Oh, yeah.
pretty much died off. But
Yeah.
it's just you got to learn to enjoy more things in
Yeah.
life, not just one thing. Like you said, breaking furniture at them. Just don't let that slide.
Hey, I smashed a few coffee tables in my day.
Okay, Hulk. Okay,
Yeah. But I think that's the thing is, like, as we get older, we realize the business. People talk about sports entertainment being rigged, which, like, there's a script. Like, we know there's a story. You have to respect the story. But I think the thing is, as we get older, we find out like these major ones are really rigged in the worst sort of way. We find out like the owners are sharks, and even when you get down to like high school levels, the amount of like funding these places are getting,
Yeah.
like the reason why that kid in your class is a total asshole is because it's rigged at that level, even like in the worst way. So I think when we learn that like it's not about winning or losing, when we learn it's about just for the culture and the enjoyment of it, then we can grow. But I think people kind of get into this thing because they're really not. They're really thinking like what they like is as innocent when it's not. So it's kind of good that we grow out of it. And I think anyone who's out there needs to learn to lose gracefully and kind of grow out of it and realize there's other reasons to enjoy things that are just a game, because it's just a game and it's there for fun.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, like if you lose, there's a reason you lost. And if you actually do want to get better and you're competitive, you need to look at why you lost and come back better.
Right.
Because you can't just like storm off the court and not shake hands and act like a little bitch.
Right.
Like, if you
Yeah.
lost, you got beat.
Yeah.
Straight up, unless there was some cheating involved or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like you either grow from it or you don't.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So
And yeah, absolutely.
my I guess my thing is, like, as I've gotten older, I've disconnected from watching. But probably from 2016 to when the pandemic hit, like I was playing basketball, at least 5 times a week at 24-hour fitness, and like, when you're 35 years old, you're not really supposed to be playing basketball like every day and like demolishing 20, 25-year-olds. But like
demolished.
like I was out there every day, kind of got this like group of friends that I'd play with on a nightly basis, and like it was the most fun I've ever had as an adult. Was just like I would be at work, like I can't wait to go to the gym and play basketball.
I was
Like,
the same way.
I feel like that about weightlifting.
I just when I got out of work, I knew I was playing flag football. I couldn't wait to get out because I got a chance to be out there with people that wanted to play the same sport, play win, lose or draw. We were there just to play, and it was fun. And that's what I missed a lot, especially during the pandemic, because I was one of the organizers in the volleyball thing at work, and then I got out there. As soon as I got out there, I was setting up the net, everyone ready to go, and get as many games as we could, because I just love being out there with everybody.
Martial arts felt that way too.
It's like, if you can play the sport that you love, there's like nothing better than that. And I'm really competitive. I want to win. As much as I want to play the game, I want to win. But like I said, I've lost my fair share. But like, if you don't take something from that, then you're losing in general. Like, even if you win, you're losing.
Right.
So, it's something I definitely miss. I wish I could get back to playing every day, but the pandemic just kind of fucked everything up, and then had a kid. Not trying to make excuses, but there's kind of limited time.
Sound like you are. No, I was kidding.
Yeah. But no, like still with COVID kind of out there and stuff, I don't want to necessarily be playing, basketball with 10 people I don't know.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff
just
like that.
it's being more wiser with your decisions and choices. You know, like you gotta take this and that, the good and the bad, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's just know how to maintain balance. You know, it's like. And when you don't go out and play as much anymore, when you do go out and play, like, man, I really missed it. You know, I enjoy it more instead of just going out and playing all the time. Like, man, I just do this all the time. I'm worrying and carrying my body because it's all about, moderation with everything.
Moderation,
yeah. The thing with getting older too, you don't get old because your number goes up. You get old because you stop doing something.
Because you stop.
Mm-hmm. You see these videos of like 80-something-year-old ladies still doing gymnastics and things like that. Like, they shouldn't be able to do that, except for they never stop doing it. So they should be able to do it. So
from the medical principle, a body in motion stays in motion.
Right.
And that's always that. You always have to think. People in medicine understand that. So you have to make sure you're continuing to do something.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you stop, that's when the ligaments weaken and the circulation is lessened, and that's problematic. So, and I think the other thing is like what's really good coming from a martial arts background. Martial arts is about self-competition. Like you have sparring, of course, but then you have forms, and your forms is where you display how you put those combinations together in a larger language. And I think when people can really look at themselves in the sports process of how good is your technique, and are you doing it just to enjoy being able to do the technique, then that's when you're good. That's when you're a sweet spot. And it's about the technique, and you don't be concerned about the other person and whether you got a point or not got a point.
Martial arts is kind of like golf in the sense that like you are playing to win, but at the same time like it's a mental game.
It's a
like
mental game.
Tiger Woods was the best golfer in the world for like over a decade, and then when that thing came out with the cheating scandal and all that, he's playing the same game. He's physically still doing the same thing. He's the same man, but his mind was fucked up.
Yeah,
so he was
Right.
So like he was just wrecked.
Right.
Like how can you go from being the clear-cut best golfer in the world, maybe the best ever, to not even making cuts sometimes?
Right.
So like it's like one of those things where I mean I don't golf, but like I can appreciate the mental aspect where to be on that level for that long, like you just like it's amazing.
Right. And, don't do it for emotional reasons. If you're doing it for emotional reasons, do it for peace.
Any closing comments you guys might have?
No, just go Celtics. I hope they win. But like I said, if you guys don't win, you should have played better.
All
right. Close it up, Noah.
So, well, thanks for watching and nerding out with us with the Nerds and Nonsense, I guess today's sports edition. If you liked what you watched today, be sure to like us on Facebook and on YouTube. Leave a comment about, a sports, experience that you have that really excites you, that kind of, fits with anything we talked about today. And we enjoyed you nerding out with us.
Cool.
So,
thanks, guys.
See you guys later, and fuck LA.
Such a hater.
Such a hater.